Look closely at any high-density town grid, and the friction is immediate. Moving thousands of people across intersecting concrete arteries creates logistical bottlenecks. To bypass this congestion, city planners rely on the public transit bus. But looking strictly at its operation reveals a highly specialized, self-contained kinetic ecosystem. For this ecosystem to survive, it requires a strict mechanical baseline. The entire structure depends on a perpetual forward propulsion system to overcome the drag of urban traffic. The vehicle generates continuous rotational energy at its base, transferring kinetic force to the pavement so the wheels go round and round. This looping motion dictates its capacity to overcome distance, tracing an active path all through the town. However, raw kinetic energy is insufficient for the actual task. To safely transport a fragile biological payload through a hostile environment, this system requires a specialized defensive outer shell. The boundary between the chaotic street and the protected interior is maintained by a series of heavy exterior mechanisms. The primary access point is a set of reinforced pneumatic panels. By rhythmically cycling open and shut, these doors act as a controlled valve, safely managing the intake and output of human passengers. Once in motion, the exterior must actively defend against environmental hazards. When precipitation threatens the driver's visibility, mechanical wipers deploy, executing a precise swish, swish, swish motion across the glass. The system also communicates its trajectory to surrounding traffic visually. It uses high-visibility indicator lights that blink rapidly to signal directional intent. For immediate physical threats, the exterior employs an acoustic defense system. A loud, sharp beep is triggered to clear pedestrians or vehicles directly from the path. All of these secondary systems draw their power from a centralized combustion engine. The heavy vroom of the motor serves as the energy source driving the entire network. This exploded view diagram illustrates how these components integrate. The doors, wipers, signals, horn, and motor synchronize perfectly to create an impermeable safety envelope, insulating the delicate operations happening inside. Inside that protective boundary lies the passenger cabin. This enclosed architecture serves as a highly compressed social environment. The passengers are subject to the vehicle's physics. Every variation in the road transfers directly through the chassis, forcing the people inside to physically oscillate up and down with the terrain. This constant physical friction naturally triggers stress, particularly among the most vulnerable demographics on board. Infants react to the sensory overload by initiating a loud acoustic distress response, a piercing wah sound. That localized alarm initiates immediate biological countermeasures. Maternal figures deploy acoustic neutralization techniques, emitting a steady shh sound, while paternal figures provide a secondary layer of emotional stabilization, offering vocal reassurance that they love them. What begins as raw external mechanical vibration from the road is processed by the cabin environment, converting that kinetic energy into a complex, self-regulating cascade of social support. When evaluated in its entirety, the division between machine and passenger dissolves. The bus functions as a singular, symbiotic entity. The rigid mechanical shell absorbs the friction of the street, successfully balancing and shielding the fragile biological dynamics playing out within its walls. The route itself is not a linear trip from point A to point B. The journey through the grid operates as a perpetual, unbroken circuit, consistently returning to its origin. Beneath the layers of complex social interaction, the foundational mechanics persist. The primary kinetic loop sustains the entire operation, even as the wheels continue to spin round and round. The survival and flow of the urban environment rely entirely on this repeating synchronization. It is the precise balance of strict mechanical engineering and delicate human connection that carries the town forward.